Blog Talk Radio.
Are you ready to take a bite out of the competition? Are you looking for ideas to make your business better? Welcome to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet, sponsored by Apple Capital Group. At the core of every successful business, you'll find people making a difference. And with each episode of the Core Business Show, we talk with those people, examine those ideas, and explore the strategies that make them special. Now, the host of the Core Business Show, Tim Jacquet.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Core Business Show. I'm Tim Jacquet, your host. Today I have the pleasure of having Shanna Beaman, who is an author of The Woman's Guide to Living Your Dreams. If you'd like to speak with her, please give us a call at 347-324-3460, 347-324-3460. You can post a question in the chat room, and we'll read it on the air. Well, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Tim. Very excited to be on and to share some ideas.
Great. Kind of tell us some background about you. How did you get started, and kind of segue into how you decided to write this book?
Okay. Well, a little bit about myself. I do live in Utah. I was born and raised here. I'm married and I have 2 teens. I didn't go to college, but I've always worked full-time, and I think the thing that got me to write my book was I worked really hard working for others, and I advanced rapidly from just being a receptionist to being an office manager, and then I was hired to help out with the startup of 2 small businesses.
Wow.
And yeah, it was really exciting. And I was very reliable, very loyal, had a great attitude when I went in, and I just tried to learn everything that I could get my hands on. I even went out and bought a textbook to learn bookkeeping and accounting because I just didn't have any of that experience, and I felt that was something that I could use in what I was doing. So with all of that led to me being hired as the COO of a multi-franchise shipping company, which I worked for 10 years.
Wow.
And during that time, I actually had written some children's books because my children were little, but I had never published them, and I never really attempted to publish them. But during the time that I was working, I guess about 5 years ago, I had a situation where I decided that I really wanted to be home with my kids, even after having success in the corporate world, because I found that I was depending on other people to do things for me. I'd put my kids in a track program. It was a community program, and I had them in all the sports, usually happening in the evening. And this particular program was after school, so I was able to get them to and from. But as it was in the springtime, so as school ended, the track program changed to 9 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't do that. And so at that time, when I was depending on other people, I thought, I need to figure out what I'm going to do. So that's when I started thinking about working from home. And that's what got me to where I am now, is just a change in lifestyle. I needed a change in lifestyle so that I could spend more time with my family and be home for my kids.
Mm-hmm. So when you had teenagers, so it's good that I did a teenage show yesterday, but it's good. I congratulate you coming up with your new book, coming out soon on the ramp to your future. But going back to this particular book, The Woman's Guide to Living Your Dreams, how did you come up with that particular title? And kind of tell us about the book itself.
Okay. Why I wrote that book is because I know that there are so many other women that are in my same situation, and whether they work full time in or out of the house, women are so busy, and it's really hard to find a book that you have time to sit down and actually learn something from. So what I decided is, since I was following my dreams and the process that I took to write my book and to get out of my full-time job, I thought I would share those ideas with others, because I've always had mentors who have taught me how to do different things. And so I took the process that I used and the information that I've learned throughout my life, and I put it into this book that is more like a reference and a workbook that women can just go to busy women, they can just take 10 minutes a day and say, okay, I need to do the next step. And so it's a step-by-step with forms, and it's not a novel where they have to go, they have to sit down and read. So they can just go there, get the information, do the steps, and learn how to achieve their dreams by just simple steps through, planning, staying motivated every day, taking a step every day, all the basics that it takes to get you to where you are. I tried to put in a simple reference format for women and specifically wrote it for busy women because I know that, 99% of us don't have time to sit down and read a novel. That's why I wanted to just share with people how to achieve some dreams that they've had their life that they've never had time to go after.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking at your introduction, which kind of gives a synopsis of the book. And if you don't mind, if we'll take a short break in a few minutes and if you read that for us, and that give us what the gist of the book and just a sample, because I like your last thing, believe in yourself. But if we can take a short break real quick, and I'm not sure if you have the book available. Do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. We'll take a short break real quick so you can get ready, and we'll go ahead and read it during the introduction and let's do some highlights on the book real quick, if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
We'll take a short break real quick, and we will be back in a few seconds.
Okay.
You're listening to the Core Business Show, sponsored by Apple Capital Group. Apple Capital Group in Jacksonville, Florida, is a commercial lender that specializes in asset-based loans, equipment leasing and financing, invoice financing, commercial real estate loans, and asset-based financing in the U.S. and Canada. Apple Capital Group is a direct lender that lends on their private equity investment portfolio. 90% of most loans are decided within 2 hours, and vendor funding within 24 hours after documents are completed, with a one-page application. No slow no's, just a quick decision and a fast yes. To get more information about lending from Apple Capital Group, call 866-611-7457. That's 866-611-7457 to speak with one of our loan specialists. Or visit us right now at applecapitalgroup.com. Welcome back to the Core. Once again, here's Tim Jacquet.
Again, I have the pleasure of having Shanna Beaman. She is the author of The Woman's Guide to Living Your Dreams. I guess we can just go through, if you don't mind, just going to read the first part of your introduction. And I guess really that I'm looking at your website. If you can read the whole thing, I really appreciate it. And then we can talk about some of the things in the book.
Sure. Would you like me to read the introduction then?
Yeah, if you can.
Okay, sure. Okay, here's the introduction. I'm writing this book just for women because I know we have very little discretionary time for ourselves and for our dreams. I'm going to teach you an easy and effective way to achieve your dreams with proper planning and time management. In part 1 of this guide, I'm going to go over some important basics about dreams and goals. In part 2, I will walk you through how to write your dreams and set up an effective strategy for them. In part 3, you're going to learn how to manage your time and learn about dream weaving. In part 4, I provide a plethora of other useful tips. My inspiration for this guide was to provide a multitude of ideas that you can reference in your daily life in an easy-to-read format. I hope that you will draw from this part on a regular basis to help you stay motivated and find time in your life for your family and for your dreams. Maintaining a strong family unit is a priority for most, and I have found ways to keep my family strong and still find time for my dreams and goals. I want to share this information with you with the hope that some of these ideas will work for you. Writing down your dreams and having a purpose to achieve them will benefit you, your family, and everyone around you. By using the quick and simple forms provided in this guide, you can begin your journey that will lead you to your dreams, committing as little as 10 minutes each day for dream weaving. This is an easy reference manual that will take you farther than you ever thought possible. You deserve the best. Now go and get it. And then it ends with a little quote that I put in there: believe in yourself. You will succeed when you believe.
Wow. If we go back to, thank you, I really appreciate it. If we go back to the dreams itself, everyone has a dream. They know from great school. They have some idea what they have what their passion lies. Either it's music or writing or this or that. But then we get caught up in life, and women don't have the same luxury as men because women are caretakers and they're responsible for the household and responsible for the children. The guys can kind of, slide out of some of the things and they're just being honest, we don't have the direct. It's the truth, but dealing with a lot of women and saying, my gosh, when you have toddlers back to back, I mean, it's a 24-hour job.
Mm-hmm.
What do you tell someone who, in that particular situation, that some people can't manage? They have, they thank God for, child care providers and things like Mother's Day Out. I don't know if you have programs like that in Utah, in which it's really cheaper. They just go half a day for like 3 or 4 hours, but at least, mothers have the time to go off. And it's not as expensive as childcare, but it's almost like a little preschool program, and they give a break to go do things. So how do you tell someone who have toddlers or children that's real active, how can you focus in order to kind of get to achieve their dream, if that's making sense? Because you're so distracted with your family, within life itself, but you have this dream in your head, but you just can't get a moment to really let it materialize.
So that is all the key to planning your time, and so that's a huge thing, is the time management for women. And in my book, I actually share tips on that. And let me share some of the things that work personally for me. And I share other things that I don't use that work for other women. But one of the big things is to find time alone. And a couple of ways that you can do that is either to get up an hour earlier before your family gets up, or stay an hour later, depending on if you're a night owl or a morning person. For me, I get up at 5 in the morning. So I get up before anybody gets up, and that's my time. And that's where I have time to work on stuff that is for Shanna. And I don't have to worry about nurturing anyone else or doing laundry or making a meal or anything like that. And that's where I get my time. Other things would be to share your dreams with your family and your husband or a caretaker, and get them to buy into your dreams, and so that they will help take care of your children while maybe you can go off to a library or go in another room and shut the door and have quiet time to yourself. One of the things too is that share your dreams with your children and tell them give them a reward for allowing you to have some quiet time. So depending on the age of your children, it would depend. If they're small, maybe you can put them in front of their favorite movie with some popcorn, and you can go in your office and shut your door, and you might get 15 or 20 minutes in there alone. Or share your dreams with maybe a relative or a neighbor who can take your kids for an hour, or you can switch off. I'll take your kids one day, you take mine another day for 2 or 3 hours at a time. So just figure out ways that work for you in your life to be able to find that quiet time, to be able to shut a door where no one will come in. But the big thing is to really, if you share your dreams and goals with people and you tell them, maybe give them an incentive as to what's in it for them, then you'll be able to find time for yourself. And then another thing is planning. If you'd like me to go into planning, I can talk a little bit about planning and how that creates more time as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you know if there are any support groups? For example, if it's the mother who has Mother's Day Out, who have child care, they can have been in a better situation. But are there any support groups that for women that you know of who want to go into businesses, like, for example, in Utah or in Salt Lake City, are there any support groups that come in that you know of that they can kind of help nurture the dream? Some people will have the ideas and somebody else have an idea, but if you put all the heads together, they can say, okay, this is how to do it, if that makes sense. I know we have SCORE.
We have SCORE here as well.
And the SBA, we know as well. For example, sometimes SCORE will tell you a certain way, and mostly they're fine women for you. But is there a support group that can help you, guide you through? Because I think SCORE will help you with the business end, but then you have the mommy and the wife end that you also have to sell that to your children and your family. that kind of say, hey, this is what I did to convince my husband, or this is what I did to get a break from my kids, or so I can get things done. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what I do and what works for me is to find mentors that are, let's just say that you want to write a book. What you can do is you can find a mentor and find out how they did it and have them support you and have them walk you through a process and how they made the time and how they got started writing that book. Or if you want to, I can't think of anything offhand, but if you have a small business that you wanted to start, let's say you wanted to do a bookkeeping business out of your home, maybe you talk to someone else who's already done that and they can guide you and tell you how to do it and walk you through from step 1, to step 10, to where you actually are doing, from step 1 to where you set up your office, to step 10 when you have customers and you're actually doing their books. I don't really know of any specific support groups, but I really like using an individual mentor, and there are so many people out there who've started small businesses who would be excited that you ask them for help, because that makes them feel like they're there and they get to help you, and that that you respect them enough to ask for their help. There are so many people out there who would just love to help out with that.
Okay. Any advice of how to find those? I mean, you just go to SCORE, or are there any, for example, in Salt Lake City, if they want to kind of take a look at mentors, where they need to go to find a mentor?
Yeah, probably SCORE would be a great place.
Okay.
I know that there is there's the Larry H. Miller, it's called the Miller Campus, and it is for young entrepreneurs who are trying to get their business off the ground. They have all kinds of resources on the web with different people and different mentors and different groups, and they're all categorized. You can search by what you're looking for, and these are people who will, be available for you to call and ask questions or email and ask questions, but they're all professionals, and so that's a great resource. And they also have rooms that you can rent, and they have offices that you can go to meet with people. So that's one resource I know of that is great.
And what is it called again, Larry Miller?
It's called the Miller Campus. It's actually the Salt Lake City Community College, and then it's the Miller Campus, and it's in Sandy, Utah.
Okay, Utah. I'll put that on our blog. If you talk about time management is a really hard thing to do for some people. And I think your book goes in kind of detail how to manage your time, because sometimes things get overwhelming. Just with a small business, if a person is by themselves, if they're single, it's a lot easier because you have like 24 hours to get it done. But if you do have a spouse, or if you do have children, then it becomes a little bit more difficult. Then, dealing with a career, dealing with your job, to try to manage your time and stay organized and stay focused. How do you do all those things to manage your time, to stay focused? What are your recommendations on that?
Well, what I do is I teach people to plan, and this is part of the dream weaving process. I have a daily plan that I go through with people. But the most important thing is to plan your day. And what that will do is when you'll be much more organized and you'll get more done in a day. So if the night before you plan your next day, when you're going to get up at 6 o'clock, exactly what you're going to do. So when that alarm goes off, and I call it the opportunity clock because that's what it is. It's your opportunity to work on your dreams and goals. When that goes off, then okay, it's 6 o'clock. You don't wake up going, what am I going to do now? No, that you're going to go turn on your computer and you're going to write a page in your book, or you're going to get up and you're going to exercise for 30 minutes, or whatever your plan is for the day. But one of the things that when you plan your day, let's say that you work. So what you do is you plan your lunch. Maybe you take your lunch in, and at lunch what you're going to do. You're going to make a call to 3 people, and you know exactly who those 3 people are and what their phone number is. It's written down.
Wow.
You can get it done, that kind of stuff. So if you're organized and you know what you're going to do, then you're not going to, 12 o'clock isn't going to come around and you say, oh, now what was it that I needed to do? No, you know what you're going to do. It's going to be done. You're going to pick up the phone. You're going to make those 3 calls. And those are going to be your action steps for the day that you did towards your goals. So I know that, especially mothers who work full-time, it's really difficult. So you have to take advantage of every minute. Even if you get a 10-minute break, know what you're going to do on those 10 minutes. Don't just let it come. Don't, think the day before, I'll do that tomorrow on my break. Write it down, at 10:10 when my break comes, this is what I'm going to do. And so that's what I teach people is you should plan your day the night before, hour by hour of what you're going to do. And you should also plan in family time because that's really important. If you have teens, know what their schedule is and know, when you're going, even planning your dinners if you have to. Plan in at 6 o'clock, I'm going to cook dinner, and then, I can work on my dreams and goals from 7 to 7:30. And then from 7:30 to 8 or 9, I'll be with my family and then, put everyone to bed, whatever it might be. But by planning and knowing exactly what you're going to do in the allotted time frame that you've allowed for yourself, you'll get so much more done. You'll be so much more organized, and you'll find that you have more time in your day because you know what you're going to do, and it's organized into a nice plan that you can look at.
How do you stay motivated?
I'm going to go over dream weaving because that is such a huge thing, and this is something that I teach, and this is how you can stay motivated every day. So the very first thing that when you wake up in the morning is that, and this is 5 minutes of the 10 minutes that I think you should spend every day. 5 minutes planning at night and then 5 minutes in the morning. So the 5 minutes in the morning, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to do an incantation. And what an incantation is, it's a powerful statement that you say to yourself about the day. So I'll say one that's really cute. And I love it when people look at themselves in the mirror. And I know that at first it's going to seem really strange that you're looking at yourself in the mirror and it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. But if you look at yourself in the mirror, you're going to believe it more because you're going to see yourself saying it. And so here's a real quick one that's really fun. Today I will win. I have faith, courage, enthusiasm, and persistence. I am happy, healthy, and I feel loved. So that's really important that you feel loved. And today is going to be a great day because, and then you put in there what your goal is. And as a result, I will have, be, or do. And so you finish that sentence. So today is going to be a great day because I'm going to finish chapter 1 of my book. And as a result, I'm going to have my book completed by June 30th, 2012, something like that. So whatever your big goal is, make sure and put that in there and make sure and say that with enthusiasm. Make sure you say your incantation in the mirror looking at yourself. And I share some of those in my book and just some incantations that you can take and say, okay, I want to change this and I want to add that and I want to take this out. But it gives you a start of what you want to say. So you want to say a really powerful statement that really means something to you that says, I am loved, I am good, I believe in myself, and I believe in my dream. And then you say why, what you're going to do that day. So whatever you plan the night before, you know what you're going to say in your incantation. And then the next thing you do is you need to read your goals and your dreams. So you should have around five goals and dreams, and they should be in every area of your life so that you have a balanced life. You should have one maybe in the financial, one in spiritual, make sure that your family's included in some of your dreams. You should have one in the health, whether it's, to exercise or whether it's to drink extra water or whether it's to eat 5 fruits, whatever it is, but you should have something, or even to get sleep. A lot of people are sleep deprived, so that should be your health. You should have a healthy goal, something that will help you feel better every single day. So read your dreams, and that should be like a present positive, I am healthy and fit and I feel good every day, something like that. So you read your dreams, and then you look at your dream board. And what a dream board is, a lot of people call it a vision board. And you should have all of your pictures of your dreams and goals on this board. And so even if it's words, Like I have one up there about a vacation. I want to go take my kids on historical sites vacation. That's one of my dreams and goals, to be able to take 3 months and just go back east and visit the sites. And so every day I look at my dream board, and you should have it where you look at it every day. And I want to just say I have mine in 3 different places. I have it in my bedroom. I have one above my computer in my office, and I also have one in my shower. So I put it in the one in my shower is in a huge Ziploc bag, and it's like a poster board. And every day I see that, and it's the best place to put it because most of us shower every single day, and so it's there. Whether you look at yourself in the mirror or look above your computer, when you shower, you can't help but see your dream board. So visualization is a huge part of reaching your goals. So that's the third thing, is that you look at your dream board. And then the fourth thing is that you look at your planner or what you planned out the day before. So you look at your schedule. So those 4 things should take less than 5 minutes. Your incantation, then make sure and read your dreams and goals. Then look at your vision board, your dream board, and then glance at your schedule for the day. So that way you know, okay, in 5 minutes I need to do X. And that is how you stay motivated every day, is by knowing that you are taking steps toward your dreams and goals, and knowing that one day what you're visualizing now and putting yourself in, you'll be there one day. That's how I stay motivated, and that's how I think everybody else can stay motivated.
Okay. So if someone decides to pursue this direction, what are the steps they need to take? At least the minimum steps they need to move forward.
Okay, so the first thing I think that people need to do is they need to decide what their passion is. Now, whether they have a job outside the home or whether they have, or whether they're a caretaker, they need to decide what it is that they want to do. They need to decide what their passion is and what they're good at. And once they decide that, then they need to evaluate the situation and see, what can I do in that line of work? What is it? I love to cook. Let's say somebody just really loves cooking and trying new recipes. They need to put together a plan, and they need to say, okay, how can I put what I love doing to work? Can I write a recipe book? Could I start a blog on YouTube showing people how to properly peel a cucumber, or whatever it might be? If you love food, then how can you make a living, or how can you use your skill and move forward? And I think that's the very, very first thing, is deciding what their passion is and then figuring out what they can do with it.
Wow.
The next thing that they would do is they need to set the goals. So once they've determined what they want to do, then the next thing that they need to do is set some goals and some deadlines. And so they need to make sure and have some deadlines on their goals. So let's say they do decide that they want to be a chef, and okay, I'm going to start by putting things up on YouTube, and my plan down the road is to write a recipe book and make it a #1 bestseller. So the first thing they do is say, okay, I'm going to start out with 5 YouTube videos, and I'm going to have them done by X date. And then they plan out what each YouTube video would be. And then for the long-term goal, if they want to write a recipe book, then of course they could have their long-term goal. Okay, my book will be done in 1 year from, they would put the date. So April 6, 2013. And then they just need to start on those goals. They need to actually figure out what obstacles they could run into. So if they have children, maybe they won't be able to do those videos during the day. Or, what kind of things come up during the day? What are their obstacles that they might encounter? So they need to know their obstacles, and they need to figure out a way that they'll work around those obstacles in order to be able to complete their goals. And I'll tell you why knowing your obstacles is so important is if something happens and you aren't ready for it, whatever that is that happened may just stop you dead in your tracks. You might just be knocked back and just say, oh, I just can't go forward. And it just totally wipes you out. But if you know and you're prepared for it, and you say, okay, well, I was prepared for the fact that I might get sick because my health isn't very good. But you know what I'm going to do about it is I'm just going to take my goals, I'm going to change the deadlines, and I'm still going to make this work, and I'm going to start over, when my health is better, or when my children are out of, a new project that they all of a sudden throw on you, whatever it might be. So know your obstacles so that you don't get stopped dead in your track. Know that you can change your deadlines, but make sure that if you're changing your deadlines, you're not just changing them because you didn't follow through on your goals. Make your promises to yourself, make your commitments to yourself, and follow through on things. But know that there are obstacles, and maybe not all obstacles can be foreseen. And then I would just say plan every day and make sure that you're taking an action step every single day. If you're not taking action every day, then you're going to lose your momentum. And it's so much harder to get started back up once you lose your momentum. So every day, even if it's just one phone call or one recipe or one paragraph in a book or, one sales meeting, whatever it is, even if it's just a 10-minute thing, do take one step every single day toward one of your goals. That's what I think is good.
Okay. Kind of give us, if you don't mind, obstacles that kind of tell us kind of realistically what a person might face as an obstacle.
Okay.
That they need to really be prepared for. Maybe a death in the family, that you might have to pay for some funeral costs, or some realistic things. Hey, here's maybe a few things you might really want to put in your plan and be ready for it. Like that's one that's unpredictable, or a layoff, or something like that, or things that you're encountered in starting your book or your business that will affect them, and they need to make sure that they're aware of and they plan for it.
Yeah, I think because I've written mostly about women, and I don't really write a whole lot about financial obstacles, but I think that we all deal with them. The things that you said, a death in the family, that could be a financial burden. It could be an emotional burden. It could be a huge setback in your life. And I think how I would deal with that is you just need to know and that you can take some time away from your dreams. So let's say that you need to take a month and go, and let's say it's a parent, you need to go and take care of all of the funeral arrangements and take care of their home and, the sale of their home and all those goods. You just need to sit back and say, okay, my dreams and goals are now on hold for a month. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plan out and make sure that I take care of the situation properly. So even every day, continue to do your dream weaving, continue to stay motivated and know that your dreams are still there. Continue to visualize yourself in your dreams and goals. But when you're planning now, you're planning what you need to do. So the night before, you're going to sit down and you're going to say, what do I need to do tomorrow? Tomorrow I need to, contact family, or I need to write out an obituary, whatever it might be. But make sure that you plan it so that you get it all done and it's done in a timely manner, and you're not still trying to take care of things 3 months down the road when things can be done in 1 month. And then a financial responsibility if, your loved one is laid off and loses their job, and now how are you going to pay the bills? Some of the things that I talk about there would be for you to sit back and say, okay, how can I make money right now, right today? So maybe I need to refocus myself on my goals, and instead of updating my website, maybe what I need to do is go out, and for me, maybe what I need to do is go out and do some book signings. So for the next 3 weeks, I'm going to take at least 3 days every week, and I'm going to go out and do book signings, and that's immediate income. So just the things in your life that you can do. Let's say that you have a skill that you could do at home. Let's say that you're a handyman and you know how to fix dishwashers and stuff like that. There are so many people in the neighborhood who would say, can you come over and help me? My dishwasher's not working, or I need to, the light in my daughter's room isn't working, whatever it might be. If you have those kinds of skills, those are things that you can put to work immediately. So you need to sit back and evaluate yourself and look at all of your skills, because that's one of the things I think that people don't realize is how many talents they really do have and how much knowledge they've acquired throughout their life that they don't put to work for themselves, that they could put to work for themselves and they could make money at right now, today, if they sat down and just evaluated how great they really are. And that's what I would say about obstacles on, finances or emotional. Just continue to know that your goals are still there, and maybe you just need to take some time off and refocus just for a short period of time until you can get things back in order.
Any lasting comments that you want to share with the audience? Any advice that you have as someone who wants to look at starting a business, who wants to look at living out their dreams, and anything you want to share in that regard? Because I think sharing your dreams with some people, see, you want to do what?
Yeah.
But, is what's your advice to tell your family when that comes up, you want to do what? How to respond to that? And any last comments that you will have, and how can we get your book as well?
Okay. Yeah, the naysayers, and sometimes they're not all in your family. So if it's a naysayer that's not in your family, I would say learn to listen to constructive criticism, because sometimes people have good ideas and they can refocus where you're going and make you say, oh, yeah, that would even be better. So listen to the ideas and ask for ideas from other people. I actually call people and ask for ideas and say, hey, what do you think about this? And then I listen. But dismiss the naysayers, because they're toxic. They're toxic to your dreams. They're toxic to your future. And, a lot of those people, it's because they don't have dreams of their own. They don't realize what they themselves could do. And so don't let those people steal your dreams. I think that's crazy. Just stay motivated. And if it is people in your family, sometimes you just have to listen, because you can't just get rid of them. And so, that would be really hard. So just dismiss what they say. But if you can share your dream with them and get them to buy in and show them the result, I think that's a big key. Is they're saying, what? You're going to write a book? You don't have a PhD. Who do you think you are? Nobody's going to know who Shanna Beaman is. What are you thinking? You know what? I believe that if you believe in something, that you can do anything. And if you share the end of that dream with your family and you say, well, this is how I'm going to make it happen, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is what our family is going to experience, what that is, when I reach my goals, then a lot of time they're more likely to buy into it. So give them what their reward is. Tell them what their future is, that kind of stuff. So, and if they continue to be negative, just stop sharing your dream with the people that you live with, and just get up early, or, when they're away from the home, work on your dream and continue to work on your dream, and don't let them take it from you, because the dream is yours and it's no one else's. Wow. So that's what I think. And I know that it's hard when you have someone in your home who's negative, but that's an obstacle that you have to work through. And I really believe that you can still reach your dreams. You just need to do it when they're not around, and just don't share your dream with them until till you're almost there. Then they start seeing that it can actually happen and that it's happening.
Okay, perfect. Any resources do you know of that's geared to women that can go to the web? Or I know today it's easier to start a business than ever. With Twitter, with Facebook, with WordPress, with virtual phones and websites, and it doesn't, a person can be in business within a few hours and market themselves. Even down to the business cards are free or nothing. Anything that you run across that you can share with the audience? Hey, take a look at this. This might help you.
Yeah, how I started on the web is I actually learned how to build my own website. And I know that they still have these videos up, and they've just recently updated them. But about 4 years ago, I learned how to build my own website it's called Become a Blogger, and it's actually becomeablogger.com. The guy's out of Australia. But he actually walks you through step by step how to buy your domain, how to get your free, everything. There's so many free resources, but he has 10 videos, and these 10 videos are free, and they will get you to where how to, have someone host your website, how to actually use WordPress to build a blog. They teach you the whole back end of the blog, how to put posts on there, and they teach you how to monetize your blog. They it's just so easy. They give you so many resources, free resources that you can use to build your blog. But yeah, that's becomeablogger.com is a great place. That's how I learned how to build mine. Then just have a Facebook page. I also have a Twitter account. All of those things, social media really works. I'll tell you, I have met some wonderful people. Try to find local groups on Facebook. I've found some wonderful local groups on Facebook that I've really built some wonderful relationships. I'm actually doing retreats with a lady who I met on Facebook, and we connected, and now we've met in person. It's a great resource, but you have to use it properly, not just for advertising. Go in and meet people and really start out locally. I think that was one of my mistakes when I first started. I did an internet goal-setting program, and so I was thinking really big that I would go worldwide. But then I found out after I'd done that, and I did have some success with it, and a lot of people did take it, and they built their dreams. But really, the success is when you can actually meet people at first when you're trying to get started in something and have people that are local that you can coordinate things with and get together and meet in person. And so Facebook is a great tool, and it's free. What else? Become a Blogger was really great. I'm just trying to think what else I've done. I've learned I've had to do everything on a budget because I went from being the COO of a company to just coming to my home and doing bookkeeping out of my home and writing my book. So I've had to do everything on a budget. And I know Vistaprint. I never use them, but Vistaprint, you can get free business cards through them. That's a .com, Vistaprint.com. And just do trade services with people too. If you know a printer and you do bookkeeping, I'll do your books I'll do your year-end books this year if you'll print business cards and some brochures for me, that kind of stuff. So look at your resources. Look at all the people that you know in your groups, in your church groups, on Facebook. There people are always willing to trade services. That's a good way to do free things. That's a good start, I guess.
Great. Well, thank you for coming on the program. I really appreciate it. And where can we get your book again?
My book is available on Amazon.com. It's also available on Barnes & Noble online. And it's also available in both of their electronic formats on Kindle and on Nook. And so if you decide to do it that way, because there are forms in the book, you can go on my website, and there's a password in the book. When you get the book, you'll see the password, and it'll tell you where to go on my website to get the forms, and you can just print them out if you like the electronic format. But it's available both those places, or if you want a signed copy, it's also available from me. And so my website is www.shannabeaman.com, and that's SHANNA, B as in boy, EAMAN.com. And I will sign a book and send it to you. And I'll personalize it, put your name in there. Yes, it's really exciting.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it again. And what's your website address again?
It's www.shannabeaman.com.
Okay, and spell it out for us.
It's SHANNABEAMAN.com.
Great. Thank you. I really appreciate you coming on to the program, Shanna.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Tim. It was a blast.
Great, I appreciate it. Again, you can download this episode on iTunes or Blog Talk Radio. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Shanna, for coming on to the program. And everybody have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet. For more information about equipment financing and asset-based loans, visit our website, applecapitalgroup.com. That's applecapitalgroup.com. Or call us at 866-611-7457. We hope you'll join us for our next episode. And remember, you can always get to the core via iTunes. You'll find all our previous episodes there. And thanks again for listening to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet.